and welcome to season 2. I'm so excited that we've come this far. Kwanza, the subscribers. I think we went on a break after getting to 100. So right now we are at 105 and the goal is to get to 200 views. So tuchangamke. And thank you so much for those ones who've been asking nilienda wapi. It was just a break, but I am back. And once again, I was inspired by by a nephew of mine. So this guy, he's 6 years old and he loves stories. So one of the first stories I ever told him was the story of King David. And I told him King David was a shepherd boy and he had a lamb that he really loved. And so Prince loved this story so much. So he used to tell it. He was not even speaking properly, but he would tell that story. It's very interesting. Anywho, the other day, I'm talking to him on phone, and he tells me to give him a story. And what story does he want to be given? The story of Jesus being crucified on the cross. Hey, people, see, I was put to task. And then he asks me, why did Jesus have to die? Let me tell you, Sunday school teachers, I honor you. If these are the kind of questions that you are asked in class, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord continue to give you grace. Anywho, let's just say I told the story the best I knew, and I told him that now I want him to be telling the stories. So I have a protege. Hopefully, one day he will come and give stories right here on this channel. But before he does that, I'm hoping that he is going to influence his sister by telling her these stories. So I am going to start with the story of King David. This is a special dedication to one prince. I'm going to talk about restoration because that's the season we are in. Okay. So now this is where the story begins, which I will give much later. So David had run away from his home, from the other Hebrews, and he was living among the Philistines. So the Philistines were fighting against Israel. So they were on their way to fight the Israelites. So he was with one of the commanders called Achish, or Akchish. And Achish told him, you're going to be my bodyguard for life. And David said, yeah, I'm your guy. Let's do this. So on their way, the other commanders, they asked Achish, what is wrong with you? Why are you coming with this Hebrew boy? And he says, this guy is loyal to me. He's going to fight those people. And he's like, are you crazy? Isn't this the guy they were singing to, that he has killed tens of thousands? And you want to go with him to fight his own people? That he ran away from them. The guy said, no. Do you know what would happen if he were to turn against us and now fight us? He would win favor from that king that he ran away from. So no. Send them back. Send him and his men back. So that is what happened. So Achish called David and told him, you need to go back, you and your men. The other commanders have said they're not having you. You know me, I know you. I trust you. I know that you're going to fight for me, but these other guys, they've refused. So sadly, you have to go back. David tried to jitetea. It didn't work. And so anyway, him and 600 men that had followed him. These are all men who had followed him from Hebrew land. And he had turned them into mighty men of war. Anywho, the guys turned back and they went back to their home. Now where they had camped is a place called Ziklag. So when they get to Ziklag, 3 days after they left the Philistine army, they get there and they find that their camp was raided. A sorrow. You could imagine how sad this was. The Philistine army and David had left their homes. They have gone to fight Israel. And then the Amalekites have come. They have raided the Philistine places. And then they've come to Ziklag. They have raided it. They have burned it. And they have captured the children and the wives. These men were angry. They started crying, and now they're telling David, it is you, it is on you. And David is like, Allah, these men are talking of stoning me. We were all together. How did I cause this? Anywho, he encouraged himself in the Lord. And he said, me and you, God, we are strong. So tell me what to do. He called for the priest. The priest was called Abiathar. He said, can you bring the ephod? I want to know what the Lord is saying. And so he asks, do I pursue these people? And the Lord says, yes, pursue, because you shall overtake and you shall recover all. So David tells his men, let's go. These are guys who've been walking for 3 days. They are very disappointed because they were charged for war. And then they've been told, no, you can't go. So you can imagine they're sad. So they've been walking, they're tired. They get home, there are no wives to cook for them. There are no children to hug them. It was just terrible. So he tells them, let's go to war. So again, they start another journey, and they are going to pursue the Amalekites who have destroyed their camp. So on their way, they get to a brook, and some 200 men are so tired. They say, we can't do this. You guys just go. We will camp here and wait for you. And David says, okay. So the 400 men and David, they proceed on the journey. And then one time, some guys, they found an Egyptian who was dying. So they brought him to David. And so he was given food. He was given cakes, some raisin cakes and dates. He ate and he was revived. And he said, David asked him, who are you? And who raided our camp? And the guy says, I'm an Egyptian and I was a slave to an Amalekite. But he left me and discarded me to die 3 days ago because I fell ill. So imagine this guy for 3 days had not eaten or drank anything for 3 days and 3 nights. So now he's been given food, he's revived, and now he's told these people. So you can imagine he's also annoyed that he was discarded just like that. So David asks him, will you take me to these people? Will you show me where they are? And he says, promise me that you will not give me to that Amalekite, and I will take you to exactly where they are. And so David promised. So the guy took David and his men to where these guys were camped. Now, they know the Philistines have gone for war. So they are busy having a bash out there camping. Shock on them. David and his men got there at dusk. And they saw these men. And they started fighting them. They fought them. Remember, these are guys who are tired. They have been walking how many days? They have not eaten well because they've been eating all these camp foods, and then they are angry because their children and their wives have been. It does not matter. They fought these guys from dusk to the evening of the following day. And they finished them. Only 400 men, they jumped on camels and they ran away. But everyone else, they completely destroyed them. And so they carried their plunder. So they uncaptured their wives and children, and then they captured all the plunder. Everything that had been stolen from the Philistines and from them, they captured it, and now they're on their way back home. They're happy. They have their wives and their children, so they're going back home. They get to the brook, and they find the 200 men, and some troublemakers, those ones hawakosangi, within the 400 men, they're saying, no, these ones shall not share in anything. We shall only give them their wives and their children, and everything else we shall keep to ourselves. But David said, no, we have to share equally. And at that point, I was so touched by David. He's such an awesome leader. Oh, that we may have more leaders like David. Anywho, David said, we are sharing equally. And they shared the plunder with the people. And then they all went back to Ziklag, and they continued living there. And that is the end of the story. And I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you have been touched and that you are blessed. And like we said, we are on the road to 200 subscribers. So share. And the Lord bless you. Till next time.